Tyler here with Big TV after a 0-0 draw between Nashville SC and Club América. I think Nashville SC played really well tonight. To be honest with you, I don't think it was a disappointing performance at all. I actually was really impressed with the quality of football that was on display tonight. We honestly just couldn't finish. It was just that final third, that final little clinical pass. It was that. Honestly, we looked completely dominant over them, and I thought they looked, kind of poor. So in this video, we're going to do the player ratings for all the players, and then do BJ Callahan, the referee, and the fans, of course. So we're going to jump into the player ratings. We're going to start with Brian Schwacke. Today, I think he played really well. I honestly think he played well. He made some reasonable saves. There wasn't anything that was any sort of big, amazing save, I don't think, at any point. Generally looked really solid on the ball. I think he looked particularly good with the ball at his feet tonight. And his distribution, he was super calm. He helped us continue to control the game, which was the most important thing in this game. So for me, Brian Schwacke gets an 8 out of 10. We're going to go to Andy Nahar, right back. Really impressive today. He was closing down, pressing really high. He was covering the sort of central area to block their counterattacks. I kind of mentioned this in my match preview as an important area of the pitch to deal with, and he did that incredibly well. He looked so dangerous. He beat so many men. The number of times he dummied someone or had their player just looking silly because of his great little deft touches. I don't want to go crazy, but I think I would give him a 9. For me, he might actually be my man of the match. He delivered the ball well most of the time. A lot of players, when they delivered the ball at the byline, skewed it off. I don't know if it's the ball. I don't know if it's what this molten design is on the ball or something. But yeah, a strange number of players skewing that kick and it kind of flying off in one direction. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give him a 9. Next, we have Jason Palacios. Now, he was also incredibly good. Really touched tight to Saleh, I think, was their main striker for the majority of the game. He even delivered one of the best balls of the game, which was, for the first time, we went long. Madrigal, I think, won the header, then dropped down to Sam. Unfortunately, Sam didn't quite have the ball under control, kind of snatched it with his left foot. And that was probably one of our strongest attacking moments of the game. So he looked really good in defense. He cleared up. He made great tackles. He was really strong when he was covering back. We never looked like we didn't have the pace to deal with them, and they're a very pacey side. And he was another one of those players that managed to do that. At one point, he sort of managed to shield the ball incredibly well against one of their quickest players and just made him look like he wanted to give up. So for me, I think I'm going to give him a 9 too. And I'm quite high today on these ratings, but I think the actual quality of football played by these players was really good and what I expect to see of this Nashville SC side now. Waleji, I think I'm going to give him an 8. Again, a great performance. Bombed forward at times, made risky moves and did it well. There were times where also he, made the tackles he needed to, stepped in front of the man he needed to do, and generally just looked really good tonight. Passing was pretty much on point all night. I don't think he played a stray pass all night. So yeah, he gets an 8 from me. Reed Baker-Whiting at left back, he looked good. I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he impacted the game maybe as much as he could have done. He definitely did deliver the ball with a couple of crosses occasionally. He looked like he had control. He kept things ticking along nicely. He tried really hard. He had a good amount of pace coming back and covering at times as well. But yeah, I think a 7 probably covers what he did pretty reasonably. Next, we go to the midfield. We go to Corcoran. Corcoran again. I think he had a really good game. People around me, some people were saying, I don't think he had a great game. I think he did have a good game. I think he played some important balls in behind. He really dictated our tempo, which is what we missed on Saturday. The combination of Corcoran and Yazbek dictated the tempo way better. He's calm on the ball. He doesn't really... The one thing I will say, he doesn't play a risky ball very often. He doesn't risk it a lot. He had a shot, which wasn't the best shot in the world, to be honest with you. I'm going to say he gets an 8. It was a good performance. I don't think it was the very, very best out of everybody, but he was right up there for me. Next, we've got Yazbek. Again, a good performance. What I've come to expect from him, I think he delivered. I don't think he went up beyond that. He wasn't assisting, wasn't getting in behind quite as much, but he did cover well, and he definitely covered that space in front of our defence. Vega got one shot off all night, which is a one long shot, which is what we needed to cover, and he did that. So I'd give him a 7 because he didn't outperform what he's done usually and what I'm starting to get used to him doing. But it was a good, solid performance. He got himself around the pitch, contributed attacking, contributed defending, covered the right areas where he needed to. It's a good performance from Yazbek. Are we going to Hani Mukhtar? Man, difficult one for me. I think I'm going to give him a... There were times when I liked that he was in the referee's ear a lot. He was really trying to do that job well as a captain today. I really enjoyed that, and I think that was important that he did that. But there were also times where he maybe got a little bit rash because he got frustrated at a decision, got a yellow card for that. He slowed down because he thought it was a handball. We all thought it was a handball, but the ref didn't give it. Those sort of moments are difficult. He had one random long shot, but he was always there with our transition ball. He was always our out ball. First man to get the ball was Hani, and then start to try to distribute the ball out to Espinoza, out to wherever the next phase of play needed to be. So I'm going to give him a 7. It was a solid performance overall. We're going to go to Espinoza next. Much better. So much better than Saturday. He looked dangerous when he was in the attack. Maybe lost a little bit of pace and energy towards the end of the game. Maybe he's not quite as fit as maybe some of the others in the team. Maybe he doesn't have that stamina maybe. But definitely looked good. Managed to do a few dummies. Looked difficult for them to stop at times. Probably not as strong as Andy was on that right-hand side. He was kind of played second fiddle to him, basically. Andy really shone today. But it was a good performance. He got the crosses in that he needed to. I'm going to give him a 7. Next, we go to Madrigal on the left-hand side. He showed desire today. He always shows desire. I love that he always shows desire. He maybe didn't contribute as effectively as he has done in other games, though. Like I say, he was kind of a bit of a cog in the wheel. He was kind of contributing in sort of build-up play and that sort of area, but didn't really do much at the end, in the final third. There was a couple of times where he sort of ended up with a little niggly argument with Sam Surridge just because he wanted to be the one that got the ball and managed to get that finish in, and Sam taking a header and stuff. But I like to see that. I like to see that they both want to be scoring. They want to be contributing in that way in the game. But yeah, Madrigal probably gets the lowest rating for me. Probably gets a 6. I don't think he did a ton. Mostly kind of tracking back and that sort of thing. Looked like he functioned well in the system, but didn't really do anything in the final third, which is where we came short today. And then we're going to go to Sam Surridge. Difficult one. I think he did contribute. I think he gets a 6 too. He contributed to getting touches, trying to help us tick along. But I think, honestly, tonight we needed someone who had a little bit more skill and guile on the ball in the final third, and we didn't have that. He doesn't offer that to us. I don't know who actually would offer that to us from what we've got in our team. Maybe Madrigal, actually, arguably. Him playing down the middle would have been the player that was closest to that kind of profile of player. Surridge just doesn't look comfortable. There were a couple of times where he had wide open space in his left-hand side, and he just wouldn't go for it because it's not very strongest. We just didn't have enough of those moments for him to poke a goal home, for him to play that poacher role that he plays so well. We didn't have that, so didn't get that opportunity. He gets a 6 from me. Okay, substitutes. We had Wheel came on. He kept things ticking along. I think he did better than Madrigal to some degree. Contributed more defensively. He did have a few moments where he made great challenges and played a couple of balls through. I'm going to give him a 7 because I do think he made a little bit more of a difference than maybe Madrigal did. I was more aware of him, let's say that. I was more aware of what he was doing on the field, so he gets a 7 from me. And let's go to Eddie. Eddie came on for Yazbek, which we were a bit worried about, but didn't really put didn't put a foot wrong. I give him a 6. He didn't really do too much that stood out to me, but was functional. We didn't really lose too much with him coming on. I was a bit worried we would, and we didn't. So Eddie gets a 6 from me. And the final sub was Kasim. He came on, broke through with Corcoran at the very end on a counter, ironically, given the team we were playing and their kind of counter-attacking nature. Kasim goes through, but yeah, not kind of fast enough, not maybe incisive enough with his decision-making, maybe not quite the run that he needed to make. We still managed to get a shot off by the end of that play, but by that point the game's gone. So yeah, he probably gets a 6 from me. Functioned, fit the system fine, didn't add anything particularly exciting, and kind of unfortunately what we've come to expect from Kasim. We'd like to see a little bit more. I think that's the general consensus among the fan base, but we're kind of getting what we get from him. And he always comes on, so there must be something that people are being, seeing in training, but we're just not seeing it on match day, sadly. Okay, so we're going to go to the referee. I'm going to give the referee a 6 out of 10. He was very lenient. I like that he was lenient and let the game be played, but this Club América team love to kind of roll around and make sure that they get their free kicks that they want, and he kind of went with that today. I think there were some things he also missed, but I think he missed them on both sides, so it's kind of ended up even. So I'm not too worried about that, but, well, I am worried that he missed quite a few handballs and then called ones that were completely inconsequential, and then a couple of odd decisions and things that looked like they definitely should have been given in our favor or their favor, and they just were given the opposite way. And yeah, officiating team, I think maybe missed a couple of things today, but overall solid. I like his character on the field, but yeah, some odd decisions. And then BJ Callahan didn't manage to do enough off the bench, I think, is the thing for me. We didn't get that incisive move that made us then win the game. So for me, he gets a 7 because he's got this team playing really well. I love the way that we played. But I think in terms of the decisions to change the game, he didn't quite maybe make those. The game didn't change dramatically when different substitutes came on. It kind of carried on as it was. And I think we needed something to change the game. And then finally, the fans. I mean, I think the fans were up for it today. I think we did do a really good job of getting behind the team. I think the fans are 9. It did feel like we were kind of dwarfed by Club America in terms of the numbers. But from where I was sat above the supporters section and everything, I didn't really notice. There were a couple of moments where you could hear the Club America fans when maybe a player went through. But they had very few moments of joy tonight, and that was the only thing they had to make noise about. The rest of the game, I think we made really good support. And generally were really good. So yeah, fans get a 9. So those are my player ratings for the game. Let me know your thoughts on this game. Let me know your player ratings. Do you agree or do you disagree with any of my ratings? And we move on. We've got Charlotte at the weekend. We'll be there for the game, doing coverage live at the game. And yeah, hopefully if we can bring this way of playing back. I know it's a bit of a thing for Nashville SC after international breaks, not playing well. We need to get rid of that because the way we played today was what we're used to and what we've been seeing in MLS and can dominate MLS. So I want to see that in Charlotte on Saturday, live, in person. And let's see a win, finally, after this international break. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.